What's up, man? So I did a video last night, and I told you guys I was going to do a video this morning of the technology that's inside these trucks for Prime. Look at this guy, he's like trotting over. I didn't know if he was coming over here or what. That was weird. But I didn't get to upload the other video, so I'm going to pretty much roll these out two together later when I can get service. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start talking about what's in this truck. So I'm going to start first with the, I don't know if I should, whatever. This is the security. You know, it's got a keypad here, and you have a code. Every driver has a different code to put in. But if you don't put the code in, when you crank the truck, it will start beeping at you. It's crazy. See, I'm just going to turn the key, and you're going to hear it. It gives you a warning to go ahead and put the code in, or not. If not, it's just going to keep beeping. You hear that? See that? Turn away. You can't see my code. You can't see my code. So it's pretty loud, but that's that. Moving on from the security part of the truck, I'm gonna actually need to turn this key back on so I can get some of this other stuff up. This here is our tire pressure system. It tells you, and don't get wrapped into what this is saying. You know, we run 110 on the stairs and 100 on our drives, and right now this is reading 99. You know, 108 over here. You know, our tires are, you know, we're sitting on a hill. You can't really get wrapped into what you see. It says 99, 95, 97, 99. You know, if I check this with an air gauge, these would be pretty accurate. This is about where they normally are. And when I start rolling and the tires get warm, that's when they usually around the same temperature. But, you know, within a few numbers. But, you know, this is convenient. You know, if you have a tire that's extremely low, you know, you can go ahead and point it out. You don't have to go around and check every single tire every time, you know. But you're supposed to check your tires with an air gauge every day. That's part of the pre-trip inspection. That noise is aggravating. This here is our mirror to WAPCO collision mitigation system. You see there's no CMS because we're not moving. So, you know, what that does is part of the adaptive. I'm going to turn that off. It's part of the adaptive cruise control. So let's say if you were on the interstate cruising 65 and you came up behind a vehicle that was going, say, 50. You know, once you got behind a certain distance behind them on cruise, your truck would gradually slow down. All right, and your truck is going to mimic their speed until you manually override by pushing the gas pedal, knock the cruise off, and go around them. You know, I don't personally like this system. Some people probably do, but for me, like if someone's going 63, 62, you know, over hours, that's a big difference. And sometimes I like, you know, you get in your zone and you kind of ride up behind somebody and you don't notice that your truck has slowed down a few miles per hour behind them. And you look down and you're like, well, dang, you got to go around them. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, it is a good system for, you know, if you're following too closely, it'll go ahead and actually apply brakes or the Jake brake, and it'll actually slam on the brakes pretty hard. So you gotta watch that, not to be rolling up on people pretty hard. And this is another part of our security. This is our pretty much panic button. So push this, it notifies, I think, Prime Security, and they get in contact with the authorities and give them the exact location of the truck. And I think they send like fire, police, and EMS. You know, they don't know what's going on, so it's kind of like a no questions asked button. We're gonna send help. Obviously, this is our Qualcomm. I kind of went over this a little bit before, but this is pretty much the way to send messages to and from dispatch, receive messages from dispatch. This is where your loads come in at. You know, this is where you message road assist. You know, you get a faster response, and they prefer that you use a Qualcomm. You know, you got to think of a situation. You got a dispatcher. He's got 60 drivers on his board. And these messages go to his computer. If he's on the phone talking, he can still read your messages versus you waiting on hold for a phone call. So a lot of times you'll get a faster response by just going ahead and using, you know, the Qualcomm. So that's that piece of thing. You know, myself, I run a Ram McNally. This did not come from Prime. Some companies will give you a GPS, and actually, let me go back to the Qualcomm. This has a GPS in it. I think it's like $1 per week is what they do charge. You see mine is like kind of says navigation is kind of grayed out right there because I don't subscribe to it. I used it for a day and I didn't like it. I prefer the Red McNally is what I have. Is the, I think it's a 730. I don't know the model number. I don't remember. You guys saw my Cobra dash cam. It's off right now. I usually turn it off at night. I bought this too. This didn't come in the truck. You know, a lot of people talk junk about dash cams and, you know, the companies, but I don't know. Maybe I can see if you're not liking the company dash cam, if it's, you know, from the company. But, you know, me, I can do what I want with the video, so it's mine. It'll protect me if I get in an accident one day, and, you know, the other vehicle's at fault and they're trying to pin it on you. You know, that's right there. We have a pre-pass and an easy pass. The pre-pass is for way stations. You go to a way station, they have pre-pass sites before you go in, and you could possibly just pass it and keep going. You'll get a green light if you can keep going, red light if you need to stop, and they weigh your truck. You know, that's actually pretty good, because sometimes they want to be doing inspections and you can just pre-pass the site. Easy pass, obviously, that's for tolls. If you're making easy pass, most of the tolls in the Northeast. This little guy here, this is our lane departure warning system. They see that one that kind of goes in tandem with this switch here that says lane alert. What that does is when you veer out of your lane, it'll give you like a noise over the speaker. Kind of sounds like you're going on a rumble strip. You know, if you're veering off the right side, the right speaker will go off. If you're veering off the left side, the left speaker will go off. But that's pretty much an overview of what we have, you know, on board our trucks. And well, I'm going to try to talk about two more things here. We have this load scale. You know, this didn't come in the truck. If you look, you can tell the difference of this gauge versus these are the stock ones. That kind of has a double edge and it's just rounded off. That Prime put these in the trucks. You see right now it's showing this is the load scale. I don't know if this is focusing good. There we go. This is the load scale for our drives. It's got about 20,000 pounds, 22,000 pounds. I had to look over the camera on my drives right now. It comes in handy. I don't ever go to a cat scale. Some of our trailers have load scales on. I'll show you that in a minute. But this is the right way load scale. What this does is, let's say if your load's like 10,000 pounds, let's just say 30,000 pounds, all right? And you see I got 22,000 that's rested on my drives at that 30,000 pounds. You already know 34,000 is legal on your drive, so I'm legal here at 22. And 22 minus 30 is about 8,000. That's what's over the spread axle. It can't be, you know, obviously any more than that. It probably is a little less, but in each spread axle can take 20,000, so I can haul 40,000 in the back. But you just gotta be careful that you're not going over gross, because 40, like I told you before, 20,000 plus 20,000 is 40,000, and you go ahead and add in your drive axle of 34,000, and then your steers of 12,000. You're gonna be overweight, but your axles can be legal. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the APU really quick. Our APU and bunk here. I'm gonna shut this off so it gets a little quieter in here. It was running. Hey, this is our bunk heater. It kind of keeps the truck warm. This does not blow heat. This is the heater. You have to turn this on. You just turn this little switch. The red light comes on. It takes a minute or two. This is the intensity, obviously, of the heat. And then I always run both of these together. If I got the heat on, you got to run this one to the fan. Pretty much, this is the AC. You see the controls here. Kind of focus in on that. The controls are there. You know, it does have a red button, but that just means, like at 74, you know, I got it set on 65. If you put this up on, you know, 75, 76, when it's 75, it won't kick on. That's all that does. You got your cooler button. So we leave this on 65 for the puppy when I get out. So if it is cold outside, I'll turn the heater on before I get out as well. But that's that. We're gonna go outside really quick, and I'm gonna show you the weigh scale on the trailer, and then the APU unit itself. So here on our trailer, we have our right weigh scale. You see it here. Not all of the flatbeds have it. Most of the reefer units have these, but these are older trailers that have these, which sucks. I don't think they're putting them on the road. If you look here, it's pretty much the same scale that you see in the truck. And you gotta pull this. I don't have any air right now because I've been off all night. This trailer leaks down every night. It's got a slow leak somewhere. But that's that. You saw that one. You can pause it on that so you can get a better view. You know, these trailers, like I told you, we have the lift axles. You know, mine are on the ground right now because it's there's no air in the trailer.
Once I get going, it will come up if the load is under 20,000. But this is our APU unit here. This is a Rigmaster, someone Thermal King. Pretty much that's it. This is a generator engine. I'll show you guys one day, because you got a pre-trip that as well. In addition to this one, I'll show you guys a pre-trip that one. I need to make a pre-trip video so you guys can see how I do everything that's, you know, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. But that's all I have for this morning, guys. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. It's pretty much gone because today's Sunday. Like, subscribe, and share all the videos. See you guys later.